Yeah.
Maybe in a minute, I'll have each of you tell what you really were hoping to get from RootsTech. I'm going to kind of be first by telling you what my situation was. My son came from out of town with a full schedule of things he wanted to do while he was here. And it was just, so we did his things instead of spending a lot of time in class. I attended more classes on Thursday than I did the other days, but I was teaching a class in our Ward Relief Society that night on family history, things you can do to get your whole family involved. So the classes I did were about what things do you do to get your children and your whole family involved. So that is nearly everything that I actually succeeded in listening to. And most of anything other than that I tried to listen to, with the exception of one keynote speech, I got interrupted in the middle and didn't finish. So I had the attitude, well, Mike's here, I need to be with him, and I can listen next week. Now, what am I going to do to make sure I listen next week and the week after so that I take advantage of the fact that they are going to be online for 365 days? But I was thrilled when Angel called me and said that it had just been really uplifting for her and that she really felt like she had her bucket filled and was just really enthused and ready to move forward. So I was just really pleased to hear that, since my watching got so interrupted. So what do you think is the best way to do this? Should we have each one of you take a turn talking, or shall I just call on you one at a time? Or should we interrupt each other and just see how that goes?
Why not?
Why not? Well, at least we can raise our hands when we have something to say, okay? And let's raise our physical hand and not the one that's on Zoom, because I might not see it. Diane, do you want to start?
Oh, just to say one thing, and I don't know how you could find it, but one thing I really appreciated is at the end of RootsTech, the video that they had clips from all the different keynote speakers. Yeah. And I love that, because I didn't take time to go listen to all of them, but I got the best of each one. So I don't know if you can go back and listen to that again, but that was really, really cool, just to get, the highlights from each of them.
Now, was that the same as the interview that somebody did with the keynote speaker at the end of their speech?
Well, all the keynote speakers were interviews. That's what their speech was an interview. And so
not the UVU president. She gave a speech, and it was wonderful. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that, but I saw the snippet that she had. But
okay, also the fellow who plays in The Chosen, who plays Nicodemus in The Chosen.
That was an interview.
But no, it began. At first I just saw a beginning of the interview, but then later I found him talk. Well, I guess it was still an interview where he talked more instead of answering questions.
It was back and forth.
Yeah.
She would hop in and she would nod her head every once in a while like that.
Yeah. Okay, that was an interview.
But anyways, if you get a chance to see if the very ending part of RootsTech, that particular video is open, because it's great, because you just got the best of all of them.
Okay, we'll have to try that one.
I enjoyed that too.
Which keynote did you like the best?
President Holland.
Elder Holland?
Yeah, I like Elder Holland. I also like the girl from the golfer from Brazil. I thought she was articulate and really, I wish we could have heard her in English, because I assumed that she spoke English. And I was really curious as to the keynotes that I listened to. I only heard one of them mention anything about the church, and that was the soccer player from Brazil, who talked about he had been married in the temple, but and even the UVU lady said that she had been educated in the United States, and she went to college, and then she got a degree in Harvard and MIT, and I had to look up. I looked her up, specifically, and I found out that she went to BYU for her bachelor and master's degree. And I really liked her talk. And the thing I found exciting about that was she was in a dress. That made me feel good. I thought, wow, you know, because you just don't see that very often, especially in women leadership positions anymore. But she had a powerful one. I really enjoyed.
She also mentioned that something about, I forget what it was that happened, but that she had been introduced to it by the LDS missionaries. That she mentioned,
yeah.
well, that at one point in her.
She talked about the Catholic teachers, and then there was one other part that she did say about the missionaries that introduced her to school or something like that.
Yes.
Probably BYU, but.
Gee, I'll have to listen to that part again. Because I had read her bio, I was really looking forward to hearing from her, because it sounds like that's a real, coming from very negative situations to being now the leader of a 40,000 student college. So I really was looking forward to hearing her, and I was not disappointed. Cindy, did you get a chance to listen to RootsTech?
Thanks, Nancy. Not as much as I wanted to, and now I'm glad to learn that for the next 45 days we can still go. I heard from
a whole year.
Yes.
So awesome. What my suggestion was last week was that everybody print out the list of classes so that you can earmark what you want to do, and then you can go to the main computer screen and put them on your playlist. But that was really helpful to me. That was how I knew which classes to go to right away for my class I taught last Thursday.
You print it out just by going to the LDS site, period, or?
I think, did we succeed in getting the link on the Provo Freedom Family History Center website, Facebook page? So I'm going to say that correctly.
Yeah.
The Provo Freedom Family History Center Facebook page.
It wasn't working that one time, but I'll check it right now.
But you told what it was so that you could type it in.
Yeah, but what I told you doesn't work anymore because it turned into rootstech.org. Let me just check and see if
Cindy, I can't give you a definite answer there.
Let me interrupt one thing you said that's good for a year, but I also learned that the connection part, which shows your relatives, it only lasts for a week. It's gone in a week.
Well, it disappeared from my phone, so it's gone from me already.
Your thing works, Nancy. The one on the, maybe that day they were having problems because they were making everything live. But now if they will click on your link on the Facebook page, it does go to the schedule.
Okay. Cindy, I'm guessing that you're going to want to watch all the ones about the temple.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I did get to see a few things. But I heard from my daughter, so maybe you could correct this, that last year there were 100,000 or so viewers or views. You all know this?
No, I don't have the final numbers.
Yeah.
And this year, both because it's free and online, they over 1,200,000 countries. Isn't that awesome?
Right.
Is the Lord working even though temples are closed?
Absolutely. It's so awesome. And one I enjoyed, it was called Temple and Family History Leadership. It was Wednesday.
That was awesome.
The first 30 minutes was, I can't remember the name of the member of the 70, maybe Hamilton, with Elder Bednar, and 6 youth across the world, Portuguese, German, French, etc. And they just talked about, the youth started telling what they're doing. And, you know,
and that is Elder Bednar's specialty. So,
oh my goodness, it was powerful. It got you so energized.
That was probably my favorite. I finally listened to it yesterday. And I have to tell you that, yeah, and all throughout it, they kept saying that's how you hear him, is by doing family history. You hear him by doing family history.
Well, and Elder Bednar, when, you know, this one young man was talking about preparing for his mission and this and that. And finally, everybody, you could see that whatever you were talking about, it was all the work, missionary work, family history, temple, working in the gospel in any way is the work. It's all the same work. And that was awesome. And I loved Elder Holland and several others over the years that have almost given me permission for something I love to do, which is family stories and photographs and building family unity and connectivity through stories, real stories. And we talked about it today in our little family Zoom meeting about how children in families that can connect in these positive ways, children develop more resilience and courage. And it's just awesome. The Lord, it's interesting that the Lord commands us, and really he's just saying, here's some more blessings. Please take these blessings. Commandments are blessings. And here we get to, through technology, we are connected. Yes, we're disconnected in some ways. We don't get to touch each other. I haven't hugged a grandchild in a long time, and I miss that. But through this kind of stuff, there is such a deep connection as well.
That reminds me, we need to do that more with our son, Bon. Yes.
Yeah. I hope I get my mic off so I can type when I hear these things I need to do and know.
One of the things that I have really enjoyed about our Sunday night Zoom classes is my sister in Oregon usually is here, and we wait till everybody else has said goodbye, and then we talk for an hour. And it is so good to see her in person. And of course, I could set up a Zoom meeting with her anytime, but I usually haven't.
But it makes it happen.
But we have enjoyed our Sunday night times. Then we had to say, oh dear, we have to tell Heather Topham to edit out our conversations before she publishes this. and Alice just barely joined in. I don't see her face yet. She's very dark in a very dark room, but that's something that I've enjoyed for connectivity. So did anybody else watch a class that they particularly enjoyed? Wave your hand yes if you want me to call on you.
That's my hand.
Okay, Angel's turn.
Okay. All right. I took 2 full days off of work, and I was not disappointed. But I came to RootsTech praying to say, know what direction I needed to go. It's taken me 50 plus years to figure out I just need to do what God wants me to do, and my life will be good. So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the thought came to me, what classes should I go to, was that I need to connect with my family, my cousins. A lot of my cousins have all gone into inactivity. But whenever I've shared on Facebook a picture of our grandfather or great grandfather, they get super excited. They start to remember who they are. So I found a lot of classes, and one was how to do a virtual family reunion. So I'm going to try to do that. They talked about what was good and what didn't work, what worked. Another was how to make a little tree with magnets. And the thought came to me, you need to make that for your niece who is barely coming back in the church for her children, so they will connect.
And is that for ancestors or descendants?
It would start with the little kids. What are they? They're my nieces.
So cousins and nieces and nephews. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm the great aunt. So, and then, what else? Oh, and then also I needed to record. I needed to take a picture, and I needed to record a story with that picture. They showed on RootsTech how you take a picture, and on Family Search, you add, you could go up to 5 minutes and record, and then you have the voice. One of the greatest blessings I have is I recorded the voice of my brother singing happy birthday to my dad 4 years ago on the phone, and he's the one that passed from cancer 3 years ago. So whenever I need to hear his voice, I just still go to Family Search and I hit play, and I can hear his voice. And I was worried my parents would like delete it off their phone. And I thought, well, the church will keep it safe. So I have his voice. And I thought, so I called my daughter up, who has recorded stories of Ben's grandma who's passed away, of my parents, stories about me, stories about like their pet skunk they had when they were little. So like she came over, and we have already decided every Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 till 10 before we go to church, we're getting together, we're doing a picture, we're making a plan. What story, what oral history are we saving? And so we're doing it. So I guess RootsTech motivated me that this year was the year to record oral histories, add photos to Family Search and memories. And then I also I had to go get permission from my husband because we give each other allowance money, but I'm saving my allowance money to go see my daughter-in-law graduate from vet school in New York in 2 years. And I didn't want to use it. So I bought a shot box so I could take, and actually you can put like artifacts that won't fit in a scrapbook in and take pictures and then record how that artifact or that heirloom came into our family. Because when my parents pass away or I pass away, they will be like, I don't need this. Nobody wants it. You know, we already have our stuff.
Dresser scarves that my mother and my grandmother embroidered, and nobody uses dresser scarves anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, if we have a picture and a story, then we're going to preserve it. So, and then President, is it Astrid Taminas, the UVU president?
Right.
Just her talk about the women warriors in her life just so motivated me. And I like what I've gone through. I'm like, I'm a woman warrior. My mother's a woman warrior. And I have 2 girls in my family that are women warrior, that bless the men that are with us. So, but that motivated me that anything's possible with education, and the Lord's very mindful. I loved her talk. And then the other one I saw was, I have no idea what the lady's name is, but she wrote a book, Gather at the Table. Oh, here it is, by Sharon Leslie Morgan and Thomas DeWolf. And I didn't think I would like that talk, but it was a book about how she came from a slave background. Her family's was in slavery, and his family was the plantations owners, and their journey together. So 1, I want to read the book, and 2, the insights she gave afterwards were motivational to me also, about how just to be kind, and that sometimes bad things happen in our lives and we don't realize how many people got hurt. You think you got hurt the most, but the other side did get hurt too. And how do you need to put that past you? So I didn't get to hear all the speakers, but a few I did, and that was good too. So yeah, so I need to do a family reunion. I got to record all the artifacts. I have now a meeting with my daughter to record family members, even little ones. Everyone, that's our goal, is to get everybody in the family recorded, and it's going to take a while, but we're on it. That's what I learned.
Well, and isn't it nice that we can now put audio to what the pictures are? I think that's great. My cousin, or not even my cousin, somebody else, one of my cousin's children, posted the picture of my grandpa singing the songs he always sang when he came to visit. And it's really fun to listen to his voice. Okay.
I loved it when that lady who had a history of slavery in her family, and her attitude was that we are their dreams. The people who've gone through life before us used to dream of us and the advantages that we have in our lives today. And that really got me, because, you know, we all have these stories. The more family history we do, you know, we come from pioneer stock and all this. And all the time they were dreaming about us, about our day, about the conveniences of life that we would have living in the fullness of times. And that really touched me. That was a wonderful talk.
And that was a keynote speech?
Yeah, that was the one, the slave owner and the slave wrote the book. The descendants of them wrote the book together.
Okay.
And I talk like I watched, but like Angel, I was home recovering from my second shot, which laid me out for more than a week. And so I just sat here for 3 days and watched everything that I could. And that was so incredible. The only problem is I was up till 5 o'clock last night and I slept in for church today, but there was so much stuff that was just jam packed and talk about a dream, and 1 million people. That just blew me away. You know, Diane was talking last week. I think they were anticipating maybe a total of 180,000, maybe to 200,000.
No, it was over 400,000. That had registered.
Okay, that was by the first day they had registered, and then
Well, even a few days before, over 400,000 had registered.
and then
But more than 1 million attended?
it crept to 500,000 the next day, and then just sat. And then at the end, they announced that, and that was just mind-boggling. Just 239 countries.
Wow. And we have plans to continue and watch more. One of the things that I wanted to do was make sure I sent a list of the Brazilian classes to my daughter's in-laws because his mother was Brazilian. And so I wanted them to know about. They always say, we really don't know how to do research in Brazil. We really ought to, but we really don't know how. And so I thought, okay, this will be good for them to hear.
There's some good introductory classes for anyone that's in Latin America. You know, the basics have been done very well.
And who taught that class? Do you remember the name of the class or the presenter?
One guy was Moses Garcia, because I know him because he's in one of the Hispanic groups that I frequent all the time, trying to find people to help me. And he's in that group, and he runs another group called All My Cousins. And so he was just kind of a rehash of what he did. But then there was another guy that was I don't remember his name, but he was Jewish, and tracing the Jewish lines from Israel through Portugal and Spain to Mexico. So that was a interesting section. But there's some good basic stuff. And let me throw something in here too, that I learned something about the use of family search. That as much as we talked about it, I had no idea the potential is that, you know, if you click on search and you go down to that images, you know, I've just always assumed images were pictures and stuff, but I learned that these images, they're the images that family search researchers are inputting in millions of them every month. And that was a bonanza for me, because I was able to go in there and type in San Luis Potosi in Mexico and stuff that last month was brand new. It's not being indexed yet, but because it's there, it was in a form that I could find it. I could be able to go in and find those places. All I need to do now is learn how to read Spanish, but
So
Right.
instead of winding the microfilm, you
Yeah,
click next image on your computer screen.
yeah. And
Yeah.
there's something like, what, 4 billion that are there, but then it's all of the stuff that's been indexed and not indexed or in those files. And so they're getting new stuff in that's being processed all over the world every day.
And I think he's talking about the images function under search.
Right,
No,
yeah,
no, don't just go to search records, but right underneath records, there's a category called images. And that's
Right.
where the most recent ones are. Is that what you're talking about, John?
yes.
Oh, then I need to explore that more.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
always, when we're talking in our classes, we've always just kind of skipped by that. We've
Well,
gone
it's
into.
new. It's pretty new. It's
And
it's
yeah.
fairly new, I think.
Oh, okay, well,
Well, then maybe we even want to have a class about it in the next month or two. Michelle, what did you enjoy the most about RootsTech?
So I just enjoyed, I don't know, just that spirit that comes and when you're gathering together, trying to learn how to connect with your family. I loved listening to Elder and Sister Holland. I, listened to watched a couple of classes. I found that website entitled, what does it call it? The Family History Guide. I found that to be very interesting because I had never heard of that. If you know what it is, great. For those that don't, the Gail Miller Family Foundation, the Ashton Family Foundation, etc., they put together a website called the Family History Guide, and it has it's extremely user-friendly. I was really impressed with how easy it would be. It has some very excellent step-by-step lessons on how to use Family Search, how to use Ancestry, how to use Find My Past, how to use My Heritage, whatever. I mean, how to search in different countries. There are things for very beginners. There's also information for people who are more experienced. And they have it structured in such a way. For some people do better with structure, but that structure also makes it quite family friendly. I was impressed. So Cindy wants to know what's the link for what Michelle is talking about. And the link is, hang on a second, I'm gonna find it. It's called, hang on, I'm clicking on it.
It's just
on my computer.
FHGUID, I think, isn't it? Just FHGUID?
FAM.
It is the FHguide.com. So THEFHGUIDE.com. See, I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it into the chat, if that's okay. There.
I sometimes use that to review when I'm preparing a lesson. And the lesson that I taught last Thursday in our Ward Relief Society, I went to that site. That was one of the 3 sites I used the most for the activities section. If you go to one of the tabs, there is activities, and it has all kinds of ideas of things to do with your family, with your youth group, with all kinds of ages and people. But like you said, every major genealogy site, it started out just Family Search, and it keeps growing and growing. Okay, and your next comments?
Are you still talking to me, Nancy?
Yes. Do you have any other things you?
No, that was the things I wanted to share.
Brother Chestnut, what did you enjoy the most?
Well, I went in, I was busy right up to the time it started. And and I thought with the time zones, for some reason, I thought Salt Lake City, we were going to start in the morning, after midnight on Thursday. But it seemed like things that already were underway. But I got up early and I opened up, and I think there were the first one. I think was I think that was at 7 o'clock on Thursday. Was myheritage.com is the thing there. And I was just really interested in how they work with DNA and all the different things that they did to hook people together that can't find that connect. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. And so I watched that, but then I think it was a couple hours later that the brother that was born without limbs, how
many other people watched him? Okay.
It was just phenomenal. I thought his delivery, his ability to communicate the essence of life and what's really important. And I just thought he was just an unbelievable speaker, and his pathway and all the things that he went through, and how his parents, saw that he lived normal, and he just had to buck up and be like a normal person, even though he was far different than everyone. I just really enjoyed that. And I was interested in the song competition, and then I found out that one of them was the grandson of a sister that I helped a lot with her retirement home in Payson. That was Neil Stuckey. I don't know whether any of you took in the songs and everything, but anyway, so I ended up reviewing all those and trying to evaluate them and cast my vote.
Okay.
So I took in a lot of the main sessions. I loved the multicultural, I've always loved connecting with other cultures and other peoples. And when I was in the military, I enjoyed being a part of the different countries we went to. But anyway, I just took in some of the basics, but I found that I just wasn't as prepared. Since I got right into it, I found myself jumping around a lot of different things, but I still found it very rewarding. And then I signed up at the end for that they can connect with me during the year with any new keynote addresses, and I wanted to have that so that they had access to me, so I could keep connected, throughout the year, not only with the classes but with the new information that was coming out. And anyway, I took in a few of the basic class things I was interested in: records, organization, and ship's records. Since we've found our ancestor on my patriarchal line, we're pretty sure we've located him in Northern Ireland, and I wanted to pursue that. But anyway, I found that I had a hard time. I would miss breakfast. I'd get up and I was tied into it, and I didn't have my snacks. And then I finally, I would be eating late. And so I was just kind of jumping around trying to figure out my life while I'm involved in this thing. So but it was good. Yeah, I really, and I'm glad that I have the access through the year to really get into these things that I couldn't do in that time frame.
I think that they're going to be surprised that, if they had 1 million viewers now, I think they're going to be surprised a year from now how many total they've had, because people are going to tell their friends, "Oh, you ought to listen to this talk." In fact, I couldn't help but thinking, instead of me teaching a class now and again, we could just say, "Oh, there's a real good thing about that on YouTube. Watch it."
I have a question, Nancy.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, it's part of what you're saying too, but one of my daughters was asking today, what's the most direct way we can answer the question of somebody who is not a member but wants to get involved? Is it go to Family Tree?
You go to familysearch.org.
Familysearch.org.
And you create an account, and you have access to pretty much everything except temple work. You don't. Your screens will never show you what temple work has been done.
And this one daughter got this friend that wants to do this, but is almost allergic to the word members of our church, or almost allergic to the whole idea.
My non-member, very much evangelical cousin uses it.
Okay, great. FamilySearch.org.
FamilySearch.org. Create an account, and then as you create an account, if you're a member of the church, you use the same account as you use for your tithing and all of the other things on churchofjesuschrist.org. But when you do Family Search as a non-member, your account is no way tied into the church at all.
Nancy, along with that, after that second talk, I thought, oh, this is phenomenal. And I realized I haven't really connected with people about this other than, immediately. But so I got on Facebook and I laid this thing, and I checked out the early training things on how it was laid out and how to navigate. And I found out that they can't see us, and so it's private, and, and our search engine we're very much in control of our own search engine. And so I got on Facebook and shared that with, I said I was reaching out to family, friends, and everybody. That's what and so I sent out this thing, and I got a lot of response back of people, saying, oh goodness, thanks for letting us know about this. We didn't know anything about it. So I did, felt like I jumped off and tried to introduce it to other people at that point, and then I drove right back into it for myself again. So
good. Well, Ancestry is wonderful, and it costs money. Family Search is wonderful, and it's free. And they do have different databases and a lot of things but Family Search is free. And that's really wonderful for lots of non-members to know that there is something of this quality that they can do for free.
What I was trying to say about that is that some of those people have the same kind of indifference towards our faith, but yet they all responded very favorably. So I was just going to say that it seems like it's a good way to connect, and that I think maybe they might set aside those feelings because of the desire to connect.
Now, Michelle just posted a chat thing that says, but you can get a free Ancestry account if you have a Family Search account. I believe that's only only members of the church can do that. I think if you're not a member of the church, you can't get the free Ancestry account.
I'm done.
You're done. Well, the last thing you said, I wasn't paying as much attention to because I was thinking